So good morning from Switzerland to everybody out there. My name is Jack and I'm the director at Candlestick International Scout Centre, the World Scout Centre, and we're really excited to welcome you today to our call to find out all about being a Pinkie, one of the volunteers at KISK, the Permanent Mini Jamboree. We've had loads of people interested in joining our session today. In fact, I can see there are more people joining even now. And registered was over 100 scouts and guides who wanted to find out more about the World Scout Centre, coming from 42 different countries. So that shows just how much interest in this World International Centre we have, just in the people joining our call today. So welcome to all of you. I'm going to start the presentation. So hopefully you can see on the screen, the pink screen at the moment. As I said, my name is Jack, and I'm the director here at the centre. I come originally from the UK, from England, and I've been living in Switzerland for the last few years, leading the team of Pinkies. We're called Pinkies. You can see I'm wearing my pink today. You can see in the photo, and the staff have been wearing pink since 1989, which is where we got our name from. And today there are a few other people joining me on our call. Some of our ex-staff from the last couple of years who have spent some time here in Candlestick leading the centre. And I want to introduce you to them because they're going to take you through some quizzes, some activities, some videos over the next hour on our session. So first up, we have Yutse from Taiwan. And I'm going to invite Yutse to tell you a little bit about where he's from, when he was staff, and a bit about his scouting experience.
Okay, hey guys, I'm Yuja from Taiwan, and Taiwan is an island near China, and we just got the title called the most dangerous place on earth by the Economist magazine. So if you would like to know more about Taiwan, then go check out the magazine. And I was the staff from spring 2020 as a Pinkie, and the reason I went to KISK was because I had some friends kept telling me about the experience they had in Switzerland, and that's why I applied. And I was really happy I got the chance to become one of the staff. And I'll tell you more detail about why you should become a Pinkie in the later of the session. All right, that's my introduction. Thank you.
Thank you, Yutse. So that was Yutse from Taiwan, who was staff in spring 2020, so a little over a year ago. Then next on our call, we have Jess from Brazil.
Hi everyone, it's good morning from Brazil. I'm Jess and I live in Brasilia, which is the capital of Brazil. Fun fact about my city, if you Google it on Google Maps, you can see that the city has the shape of a plane. I've been a scout for 19 years and I was part of the short-term staff, the volunteers from last winter. And I can say that being at KISK it's one of the greatest things that I could do during my scout activities. And I'm really excited for you all to get to know a little bit, and can't wait for you also call KISK your home.
Thank you, Jess. So that's Jess from Brazil, who has been a scout for 19 years. Then next up out of our team today that you'll meet is Tiago from Portugal.
Hello guys, I'm Tiago, I'm from Portugal. I live near Porto, and I was autumn 2020 staff, short-term staff. And what took me to KISK was when my group traveled there 5 years before I went there. And since then I was like, oh, I want to be a Pinkie. And then I finished my studies and I was like, yes, it's now or never. So yeah, I hope you enjoy today, and it's me.
Thank you, Tiago. So that's Tiago, who was staff just last year in the autumn. And finally today, we have Sylvia from Kenya.
Yes, Hi everyone. We usually say Scouts we, but then I know we are all mute. My name is Sylvia Mochama. I come from Kenya, Nairobi. Nairobi is the city. That's where I live. We have a popular phrase to refer to as the city under the sun. It's a very cool place to be at. I was at KISK in spring 2020, and I met the opportunity to apply to KISK by chance when I was at the World Scout Jamboree. I walk into the World Scout tent and see a stand there. Whoever I was going to see was busy. So I walk around and find the KISK stand. And I'm like, that's pretty much interesting, but it looks like a big shot to deal with. But then here I was after the Jamboree. I applied it, and I'm going to talk about the application process later. Welcome and enjoy the session. Probably someone is going to have another chance to be in Europe. KISS gave me a chance to visit Europe for the first time.
Thank you very much, Sylvia. So there you've heard from the full team today. We're going to be doing some presentations, some stories, some videos, and some activities with you to share with you why you might be interested in volunteering at KISK at the World Scout Centre in the future. First up, I thought it would be very important to do a mini history lesson for you. And this could be important because in the quiz later, where you're going to want to win lots of points, you might need some of this information. So here in the background, you can see the main chalet of the centre. And this was Baden Powell's dream, that we would have a permanent mini jamboree. So the jamboree is happening every 4 years, but his dream was that there would always be a place where scouts and guides could meet all year around, living together in peace and learning from each other. And that was 98 years ago. And of course, the person who had that dream, I hope lots of you recognize him. This is Baden Powell, taken here at KISK. So he visited KISK many times for scout camps, for moots, for events. And here's a picture of him. And his dream is still running right in the middle of the mountains. This is what the chalet looked like when he first saw it. 1923, the person in charge of the Swiss Scouts, called Walter von Bonstetten, invited him to come and see this chalet that he had found. And in Kandersteg, in the village where we live, there is a big train tunnel going through the mountain. And this building was originally used for all the people to live in who were working on the tunnel. So at that time, it was just one small building. It had been empty for 8 years, so it was a bit of a ruin. And they had this idea that maybe we could turn it into a scout center. And here you see one of the first flag breaks outside the chalet on the grass in front. And at that time, this is what the rooms looked like that the guests might come and stay in. So quite old rooms, lots of bunk beds, and scouts would come from around the world to do activities like you can see here. We're right in the middle of the mountains of Switzerland. And in a minute, I will show you a map to show exactly where we are. But you can hike up into the mountains, onto the snow, to the glaciers. And even today, we still run workshops with scouts and guides, teaching them about how to be up in the mountains, how to safely travel across the snow. Okay, maybe we don't do this activity anymore, but this is a picture of a scout crossing one of the big rivers up in the mountains around Kandersteg. Today, KISK looks a bit more like this. So this is some of the scouts from 4 different countries there being invested into their scout family in front of the chalet, the same building that I just showed you only last year, to become Pinkies and spend their few months volunteering at the World Scout Centre to keep it running. Now, I promised to show you a map, so here it is. For those of you who are particularly good at your geography, you'll have worked out that Kandersteg is a small village in the middle of Switzerland, and Switzerland is pretty much in the middle of Europe. It's a landlocked country, which means there's no sea, but we have lots of lakes around us instead. And we have the Alps, the mountains of Europe, that run right through the middle of the country, which means we have huge mountains, lots of snow in the winter, and lots of beautiful woods and countryside and land for us to enjoy. I particularly like this map because I think it shows Kisk right at the center of the world where all of the scouts are coming. We're now going to pass over to Sylvia, who's going to tell us a little bit about being a Pinkie and all the different parts to that.
Ooh, nice. Okay. This is just an overview. So Jack has already said where the Pinkies, the word came from because they were pink. And yes, he had already said, posted it up, that the center has been running since 1989. Just something to note when you would want to be a Pinkie is there is a short-term staff who stay at the center for 3 months and help run the center for 3 months. Really goes very fast. I don't know why it looks very short, but then it's a very nice 3 months of your life. Then there's a long-term staff, which is 4 to 12 months. 4 for the high season staff, I think. 12 months, which is typically 1 year. There's the senior management team, and we have Jack here as one of the SMT members. He actually heads the SMT team. And maybe just to note that there's also a helper team that can go there for a very short while to help around. If you don't have 3 months and you have like a week, you can be at Swiss to help around. You can be a helper. Oh yeah, and I'm in a helper scarf. Looks like this. Yes, you can go to the next slide, Jack. I did a few pictures to just entice you as to why you should go to the center. If you see the first photo where we are all raising our hands and celebrating our first or being officially Pinkies, then next to it is also us wearing our pinks for the very first time. And yes, the pets also become part of the Pinkie team as well. Then somewhere in the third picture, it's members, scouts who have come to become Pinkies as well, and I'm trying to give up Yale. And on the last one is my season. These were pictures taken during my season and different members from my season. Two of these ones show a typical work day in the center. I don't know, it seems like I had a bias for the grounds team because on both of these days I was in grounds. On the first one, having all the heavy gear is a bit of sanding for the windows. If you saw the big red windows in the chalet when Jack was showing it, this was just about painting them. And the other one is before repainting the wall and you're trying to clean it and get the dirt off. Then the Bolt, Usain Bolt used to do that sign. So that's the Bolt sign is one of our photos from the Pinkie season, like an official photo shoot of the season. It's actually cool. You get to have a photo season for the season, a photo season for the season. Yeah, the next one. Here is where the bulk of the work is, which is really not a lot of work. So when you want to apply, we have a very short checklist. For the first one, you have to be a scout who's registered with your NSO. And this is important because at some point you'll need an endorsement from your NSO or the major international commissioner or a representative member of the NSO, the high ranks. And you have to be at least 18 years and older. And you have to be able to communicate in English besides any other language that you know, because this is the mode of communication with the other scouts who visit and other visitors as well. This is also important because you have to do a video in English also. And the last part is simply applying and living the dream. Yes, the next one, please. Yay, motivation letter. You have to sound motivated. You have to write a letter that it's basically explaining yourself and trying to say why you would be a good fit to be a Pinkie. It's really like an introduction to the Pinkie team when they're selecting And you can put in the skills that you have, whether it's outdoor skills like the ones climbing and because leading hikes and stuff like that. Languages that you know. It's really a multilingual place to be because people come from all over the world. And you can write in what you have done in your scouting life, what makes you suitable for this becoming a Pinkie. And like applying for any other, let's say a job, you will also need to include your CV, listing your education and work experience. Doesn't really have to be like what you've done for work in a typical corporate setting, just presenting yourself and what you have been doing until the point you're planning to apply to KISC. Next slide, please. Yes, this is where you have to get a confirmation from your NSO recommending you that you are indeed a registered member and you are officially recognized by your NSO, because this is a WASM center as well. Yeah, this letter should be scanned, and so things like this, when you need something from a third party, these are the places you need to do early on time so that you don't have to wait and the deadline is passed, because the other parts where you can do yourself, you can at least organize yourself. But if you have to wait for feedback from someone, it's advisable that you start this process early in time for the deadline so that you're not locked out. And yes, you have to have a passport definitely to travel. And if you're a dual citizen or you have more than one passport, it is important to let the center know that as well. Yes, next slide, please. Yeah, medical certificate. This is, you just need to be assessed to know that you're fit to live and be active high in the mountains. Well, Kenya is really a high altitude place. So when I saw this, I was like, I think I definitely can hack this. But yes, you need a doctor to sign you in. And a picture of yourself. It doesn't have to be like the typical face that you are not smiling. Smiling it's like the last part of wearing a uniform. You have to smile. So yes, really a free format. You can just smile, as the note says. Don't forget to smile. And the next one, I think, is it the last one? The next slide. Okay, not yet. Yes, you have to do a video. This one took me a long time to decide on what video I should take, because I really did that action thing, like I'm starting and doing the next one again. But you have to do this. Just be comfortable and talk about scouting or yourself. If you let it flow, it's gonna be easy. It's really nothing that should stress you out. Well, it shouldn't. Let me just say it shouldn't. But yeah, you should get a right take and talk about yourself and scouting, and basically, yeah, yourself and scouting, to also demonstrate your English skills for the center. And it has the specifics of the format that can be sent in, and the reference letter. This is someone like a referee that you can tell to recommend you when why you are also suitable for this being a Pinkie. When I did mine, I was preferring to do it from a scouting center. I mean, someone from the scouting life. And yes, finally, you could celebrate and do a yay. This is also a photo from one of the photos from my photo season, from the season I was at in spring. And this is all of us jumping. You could first start celebrating, finishing before you can go to the center and celebrate again. Yeah, that's it basically.
Thank you very much, Sylvia. So we will give you a chance at the end of our presentation today to ask any questions that you have. You can also post them in the chat at any time. And we have another one of our Pinkies helping answer any questions. I can see there have already been some good ones. But in case you think of anything, pop your questions in the chat or save them for the end and we will answer them for you. And I wanted to share another quote from one of our other Pinkies. She's not here today. She's from Ireland. And she explains how she got so much out of her few months living in the mountains in Canisteg and volunteering at Kisk, making friendships and memories that last a lifetime. Really a special experience. Okay, next, we want to share with you a few different pieces of our center. So I'm going to play a video and I hope that the quality is good enough that you can see it on the screen. But if it's not, we'll post it in the chat anyway. So you can always watch it back afterwards, or you could try and watch it at the same time. And whilst we're showing it, Jess is going to give you a little bit of an understanding of what it is you're looking at. So I'm going to start with, let's see, the laundry.
So here is one of the places that we usually spend a lot of time. This is the laundry. It's where the magic happens. We have all the bedding, all the stuff to keep the center working, the beds ready for our guests. But it's also our place where we hang out. We have on the walls pictures from different seasons, as you can see. We do that together in the end of the season. It's like leaving our mark in the walls. Here, it's where we usually prep all the bedding and stuff to get ready to give to our guests. On the other side, it's possible to see as well our Pinkie clothes. It is really, really different because it's not like in the regular jobs and places that you need to take care of your uniform. So it's like a shelf full of Pinkie clothes where you can go every morning, pick a clean one and get ready to go to work. There you can see more pictures. That's from summer. All the flags around. The huge laundry machines that you all will learn how to use it. And you will learn that you never can mix pink with white. As you can see, it's always fun be working at Kisk. In the laundry, we also have a big basket full of crazy hats and all different things to make our day more crazy and funny. And it's really, really, really nice to have fun around doing the job, singing. Sometimes we used to play Disney songs. So it was everyone singing like Lion King songs, everyone in your own language. So it's pretty crazy and fun.
Cool, thank you very much, Jess. So that was one area of our building, a behind the scenes area where volunteers spend quite a bit of time working, getting all of the laundry ready for our guests. Then next, we're going to take a tour through some of the staff boards.
So the staff board is a board that you build. It's in the beginning of the season. As you can see, they are all different. They have different formats, shapes, and colors. And people usually do it related to your season. So in my case, it was winter. So we made the mountains and we put everyone's picture around. You can see a lot of different ones. It stays, this is in the stairs in the old chalet. It's pretty cool because in the beginning of the season, this board stays in the main hall of the center. So every guest that arrives in the center, they can see who is working in the center. Another thing that I would like to talk about you a little bit, it's how exciting it is to have people from so many different countries sharing this time with us, with you, when you apply as well and be there. In my season, I shared my room with Lysandra and Anne. They are from Denmark and Singapore. So we had the opportunity to be around each one of us every day, talking about food, costumes, and about culture in general. It's really, really nice that we can talk about things from our country. We also have an international day when we arrive in the center, when you can share a bit about your country, where you're from, the food that you have in your place. And I guess the best part is really being around the world in one place. You can visit your friends later on, and you will have a place to stay, someone from that country to show you their home place. And it's really, really nice when you can talk about scouting as well, and you get to know how scouting it is in different countries. So it's really, really exciting.
So this is in the new chalet currently, which is some of our newer bedrooms for our guests. And in the summer, we have staff living in these rooms. And in the rest of the year, then the guests can rent them. And you can see there are boards that are 30, 40 years old or more. And every single season, every 3 months is making their own board. Some of them, you can see how small the team was back 40 years ago when they only had a couple of staff. And in the summer, you can see how busy it is when we have nearly 100 Pinkies volunteering to keep the center running.
And something cool that you can do when you're there, it's try to spot the oldest one. I remember finding one from 1989 and also 1992, which is the year that I was born. And I was like, oh, I was born this year and these people are working here.
Awesome. Thank you, Jess. Maybe you saw one that you really like, a favorite board. Maybe you had an idea if you were going to be staff, what might you have on your staff board? But it's a great team activity when everyone first arrives to make the board for the season and display it to show everyone who works at the center. Then lastly, we're letting you into a bit of a secret today in that we're going to show you around our staff room, which is the area where the staff get to spend their evenings and their time. Over to Jess.
Yes. So this is actually my favorite place in the center. So this is where we hang out every day in the morning. You get to know more about this, but we are always talking as a team, and we go through with Jack what's going on that week and every day. So we are ready to welcome our guests. So we have flags all over. We have even the Brazilian flag. Every staff from Brazil that works in the center used to sign the flag, which is pretty cool. This is a place that we hang out in the free time as well. We usually used to watch movies. So we put all the mattress on the floor and project a movie, have a little fun together. We also have pictures in one of the walls from the Nordic Day. It's one of the activities during winter where we participate as a team, as the Pinkies, the crazy Pinkies. And there you can see. It's an event that happens in the village. So it's really good that we can interact with the whole village. And there you can see the Kander River and the Kander Lodge across the river. There he is, Baden Powell in the staff room. And this staff room, we also have 3 bedrooms in this area. During winter, we are like a small season. So all of us, we were staying in this There's actually 4 bedrooms.
Thank you, Jess. So there you got to see a bit of our staff room, the area where the Pinkies, the helpers, can spend some free time, where most of them live, where we do lots of meetings each morning to talk about which guests are coming and what work we're doing, and generally a great fun place where you can enjoy playing games together, watching movies, having a fire, and having a bit of free time. It's a bit like your living room in your house. That's what the staff room becomes. Fantastic. So we're getting towards the end of our presentation. But one person we haven't heard from yet is Yutze.
Okay, so here's Yuze. I would like to share with you 3 reasons for why you should become a Pinkie. So the first reason I would like to share is the international friendship. So you can meet a lot of new friends from different countries, even different continents, and you can learn from each other by maybe eating some food they provide for you guys. And you will know how diverse the world is, not just from the website or the books, but by interacting with actual people from the world. And all the Pinkies will play games together, watch movies together, even work together. And the bonding between the Pinkies, I would say, it lasts forever. And the second reason for this is the Alpine Experience in Switzerland. We do a lot of hiking and maybe some skiing or paragliding, depends on the season. You come to Kisk, and you can have overnights in the upper hut or having some cool party in different chalets at Kisk. Or you can just walk into the town, take a train to somewhere else. There's so many places you can explore in Kandersteg or Switzerland. So the third reason is an unforgettable season in your life. So after you become a Pinkie, the season you stay at Kisk represent all your memories with the Pinkies and the Swiss Alpine Experience. To me, it would be spring 2020, and I keep telling my friends, hey, you should come to the Kisk. And I was the one of Pinkie in spring 2020, come to join the Pinkie family, something like that. I kept telling this to all my Scout friends. So the most interesting I would like to share is that whenever you see the pinks in your around you after you come to Kiss, you always link the memory you had when at the Kiss. All right, that's it.
Thank you, Yutze, for sharing your 3 top reasons for becoming a Pinkie. There's a funny, silly photo of a few other Pinkies on the Swiss National Day, which is on the 1st of August, a celebration of the country. And they've decided to dress up in some different costumes. Now, one of the last things we'd like to share with you is a video, which shows you a little bit more about the center. You might have seen we've shared this video on our social media before. So if you don't already, it would be a good idea to follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, or on LinkedIn. And you might have seen this video, but this shows you a little bit about the center. Here you can see the old chalet that I showed you some old pictures of a minute ago. And up here is the staff room where we were looking out of the windows just a minute ago. Again, I'll play it on the screen. Hopefully you can hear it, but if there's any issues, we'll send the link so you can watch it yourself.
It's when we climb mountains, sing around the campfire, laugh out loud, dance in the rain, and go further than we thought we ever could. It's when we don't need words to speak the same language, when we work towards the same goal. When the world gets a little smaller because we've met friends from across the globe. It's when we help others and take action. It's when we make memories for a lifetime. That's when we create a better world. New friendships are waiting. The mountains are calling. Welcome to your greatest adventure. Welcome to the World Scout Center. Welcome home.
There you go. So I hope that got you excited, showed you a few pictures of the busy times in Kandersteg around the campfire with 1,000 scouts from around the world, showed you an idea of how the mountains look that we're really nestled in the middle of. And here again, another picture from August 1st, a big parade down through the village, through the mountains, all in our scout uniforms, ready to go and meet with the village, with over 1,000 scouts in a long line, nearly 1 kilometer long, spreading throughout the village. So now I'd like to give you an opportunity. If anyone has any questions, you can either post them in the chat, or if you have a question, you can ask in the chat if you want to come on and say something, if you have something that you'd like to ask. But from myself, from Jess, from Sylvia, Jutse, and Tiago, we hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about KISK. We advertise all of our roles on the KISK website. So if you're interested in becoming a Pinkie, thinking about what it would be like to volunteer at the centre, then you should go to www.kisk.ch, where you can see all of the roles we have, when they open, and how to apply, just like Sylvia told you. Okay, so we have some questions coming in. Let's see who might be able to answer some of these questions. Is knowing more than one language a useful skill to have when applying to be a Pinkie? Tiago, are you there? Could you answer that question?
Yes, I'm here. I can answer it. Like, you only have to know English, but if you know more than English, it's really good, because you are able to communicate in an easier way with other people. For example, I had Eric from Brazil on my season, and it was easier sometimes to take doubts. Like, I didn't know a word, I asked him, and he didn't know a word, and he asked me. So if you know more than one language, it's better, but it's not like obligatory or obliged to do that.
Thank you, Tiago. Exactly. Now, we also are in a German-speaking country. So if you're able to speak any German, or even better, Swiss German, which is a little bit different, that could be helpful in the village, because you will be able to speak to the people in the shops and working in the village. But because Candlestick is very touristy, English is usually enough to get you by in most places. Okay, I'll pick a few more questions, and Becky is going to answer some questions in the chat. So what changes are there because of COVID at the moment? I saw a few about that. Currently, we have a much smaller team, only 6 Pinkies, and that's the smallest team we've had for years and years and years. And that's because of COVID restrictions, we're not able to have many guests right now. But we're hoping come winter this year, we'll be getting back to being busy, welcoming lots of scouts. At the moment, we have to take some special restrictions, like keeping distance, of course, wearing masks. And we have a whole set of rules for our guests so that they can still safely stay at the centre without having any danger or risk to them. Let's see what other question we have. Can we answer? Someone's asked a question about what's it like in the different seasons. Now, I know who was in spring season? That was Sylvia. Were you spring? Could you say a little bit about what did you do in spring? What kind of work?
Spring has a lot of preparations for summer, and also my season is when Corona was happening and there was a lockdown. So we did end up doing a lot of, let's say, cleaning up, ensuring everything is running, like repairing the bikes, which I did repair, even though I haven't yet learned how to ride a bicycle. It's basically a lot of preparing for summer in anticipation that summer was going to be open, though it wasn't. So yeah, welcoming a few guests that we managed to have towards the end of the season. So, well, yeah, I mean, I might have not give an appropriate one for like a normal spring season.
So in spring, but you have the snow at the beginning of the season, the snow is melting. There might be a quick chance to do some skiing or some winter activities. And by the end of the season, the weather is beautiful and sunny and the campsites are ready. So lots of preparation. In autumn, a bit the opposite. So you start with some nice sunny weather. The campsite's a bit quieter now, starting to pack down. There might be some school groups coming. There might be some activities to run. There might be some events that we're doing online. For example, the Jota, for those of you who know the Jamboree on the internet, Jamboree on the air. In winter, Jess, your season was winter, wasn't it? Could you say anything about what did you do in winter?
Yes, so I was during winter time in Kandersteg, it was really exciting for me since I'm Brazilian and we don't have snow in Brazil. Despite we had a lack of snow, so we had a lot of snow for like a week and then it melted, but we could do a lot of snow activities. So we had snowshoeing, we had sledding, we also had a school day where we could go ice skating, play curling because we have a curling place in Kandersteg. We also had New Year's Eve and Christmas. So snowy Christmas. It was like really exciting. And we have also the Rover Week during winter time, which is we have a whole series of activities for rovers from all over the world, and it's really exciting. I guess since because I'm from winter, I guess when we Google like and search about Kandersteg, you see the snowy pictures and you get, oh my God, this is really exciting. And I guess winter has my heart.
Thank you, Jess. And then last is summer. Summer is much busier because we have lots more guests. So in summer, we have about 40 short-term staff Pinkies normally, and they're doing lots of cooking for our guests because we can be serving 1,000 people meals every day. They're running the shop. We have a busy shop with lots of guests coming, buying food, buying souvenirs. Then there's lots of cleaning to be done to get all of the rooms ready, checking in and out the guests, meeting the guests, helping in questions in reception, guiding activities like hiking, climbing, up in the mountains. And then there's a whole team on the campsite, making sure that all of our guests are looked after, that the tons and tons of rubbish and recycling is being sorted, that the mud isn't too much. They might have to drive the tractors to move all the heavy machinery, use the big power washer that you saw Sylvia using to clean all the facilities for the guests, chopping up and giving out firewood. So very different at all times of year, but very exciting no matter when you come. Okay, I think we'll answer just a couple more questions and then we're nearly at the end of our session. That's been an hour. So some of the questions I've picked out that I'd like to answer. One was, when do applications open for winter 2021-2022? So the applications for all of the roles are listed on the website and you can register your interest. So if you see something you're interested in, you can put your email in and you'll get an email as soon as that role is open. I expect that for winter, we'll be opening those roles at the end of this summer, so August, September time. Normally about 6 months in advance of when the role starts is when we're starting to recruit for any roles. Then someone's asked, do you need to get some Swiss permissions to come and volunteer at KISK? Again, on the website, it has all the technical details. So I would suggest you look there. We will help you applying for visas or work permits if you need those things, but there's lots more information on the website. It's normally possible for anyone to come and be a short-term staff for 3 months. Someone's asked, Pinkie is voluntary, so the only costs would be transport to Kandersteg. Yep, that's true. So being a volunteer at Kandersteg means that you get your food, your accommodation, your uniforms, lots of free activities, free training, an amazing experience all included for free for you. You need to get yourself to and from KISK, so that's your own responsibility. Some people might do fundraising with their scout group to cover that. Some of you might be able to speak to your NSO, your National Scout or Guide organization, and they might be able to help. But that bit's your own responsibility, is to find your own way to get to and from Kandersteg. I'm having a quick look through to see if there are any kind of final questions. I think most things will be answered on the website, on the volunteer vacancies bit of the website. We've been really excited to share with you today a bit more information about KISK, and I hope we've got you interested. There will be lots of information coming out soon through all of our social media channels, which I mentioned, about when there's new roles open, when we have long-term staff roles, which are the slightly longer roles Sylvia mentioned, which have specific areas of work like house manager or in the kitchen or in the reception. So you can find details about all of those on the website too. But from us, I just wanted to let you know that there are lots more online program sessions available coming up soon. So if you go to kisk.eventbrite.com, you'll find some more of the online program whilst people can't be here in Candlestick. You'll find some sessions about some program, some more about being in Candlestick and the mountains and the glaciers, some sessions about the environment and the sustainable development goals. So if you're interested in learning more about KISK, do check out our website and book your next session on the Eventbrite page where you found this Pinkie session. If we didn't get a chance to answer any specific questions you had, you can also email them to us. You can use the email recruitment@kisk.ch, or again on our website, you can find all of our contact details, and we'll be very happy to try and help answer any of your questions so that you can experience some time in Candlestick as a Pinkie staff. From myself, from Jess, from Sylvia, from Jutse and Tiago, and all of the Pinkies here at the center, thank you so much for joining us today, for finding out a bit about the Permanent Mini Jamboree, and we hope to see you here in Switzerland in the mountains sometime soon. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you, and look forward to seeing you all very soon.